Yo, what is good? What is good, man? We are 3 days away from the first preseason game with the Arizona Cardinals. Who will be the starter? Well, I guess we'll have to wait to see. I don't know if they will announce it before. We know who the starter was for the Arizona Cardinals. It was their third round pick, Carson Beck. Could we see a Carson Beck Mendoza rematch from the national championship game of college football last year? Those are all things left to be seen. We've had some fights break out in camp. We have some rising stars, or are they just camp legends? We're going to break all that down. We're going to talk about it. So, what's good? What's good? Appreciate everybody pulling up. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, well, damn, what are you doing? Subscribe to the channel. All kinds of things going on. It is football season. It is back, baby. We are back. We have a lot of guys in camp that are showing out unexpectedly. Some expected, some unexpectedly. We're going to get into all of it. We're going to break it all down. But let's start out with the number one topic, right? Haven't been on for the last 2 days. So there were some scuffles at camp, a little bit of trash talk, a little bit of irritation. You know, Max Crosby getting on the veteran's nerves. I guess hit him one too many times or tapped his arm one too many times. The veteran got upset, right? Had a little bit of a scuffle. And both guys, I guess from what I heard, Max Crosby was sat out to not disrupt practice. I don't know if that's true or not. Some people say that both guys were back in practice. However, they both continued practice. The following day, they did drills, but when it came to 7-on-7s and 11-on-11, neither Max Crosby or Kirk Cousins were in the building. So let me know how you feel about this. You know, coach trying to put his foot down, show who is the captain of the ship, who runs the ship, and that you will be held accountable for, nonsense. However, on the other hand, there was also another scuffle involving an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman, and Caleb Rogers and Jonah Lalu. And from what I gathered, and the little birdie in my ear said that was a lot bigger of a scuffle than from the two veterans. And I don't think there was any disciplinary actions for the two younger guys. So let me know how y'all feel about that. Let me know how y'all feel about that. Was it a way to get Fernando Mendoza on the field with the ones, and how did he look? Well, there's been a lot of misperceptions, and have you seen the title, right? Raiders caps that y'all need to know about. So a lot of BS going around. Some people are, over amping things with certain players, and there's a lot of fans that have been allowed to practice. And yes, they're not as close as the guys on the field, but there's been a lot of mixed decisions and conversations. So let me know how y'all feeling about it. How do you feel about Kirk and Max Crosby not participating in drills? Or do you feel like I feel, that it was just a way to get Mendoza in there and not have Max Crosby disrupting the rookie? Because, man, from what I hear, it's not like he's looking great out there. Yes, he's had some great moments, but there's been some rough ones as well. How ready is the rookie? We're going to have to get into that. Because I have some mixed reports, and I've been hearing some different things. So let me know what y'all are hearing, what y'all are seeing. I'm trying to get this damn chat so I can see it all. I don't know why my eyes watering. But yeah, man, how y'all been? What's good? Are you ready for some football? If you're ready for some football, hit the damn like button. Hit the like button. Smash the like button. Share this out to the masses, not Zeke masses, who, man, oh man, we will get into that in a minute. Matter of fact, let's just get into it right now. Let me know if y'all can hear this. Let's probably put glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. And on boost. Hey, it worked. All right, so we are going to tap in to the Zeke masses. Yeah, that's how I feel. Hi, Rebel. Greg Brewer in the building. Chang in the building. What's good? What's good? Appreciate all of y'all pulling up, showing love. Lawrence in the building. What's good, my guy? Chang was the first one. What's up, bro? I got back from Candy's live. Nice. Appreciate you. Yeah, I don't know why they're always crashing her stream, man. I don't know what's going on over there. And she's very irritated. I understand. Very irritated. Understandable. But let's pull this up. Whoa, not like that. Pull this up a different way. Wait, what is that? Hold up. All right. Where did I go? Where did I go? Can y'all see me? Am I gone? Did it disappear? Oh no.
T-Mobile 5G home internet.
For real?
Fast internet, now delivered the fastest.
That's how
Powered
y'all
by
doing it.
DoorDash. Get it.
I thought I already did that.
What have you liked so far about the way you've been playing and competing again?
What I like so far about myself is just me just going out there, just playing confidence, just my team just pushing me every day, and I'm just being the best.
Can y'all hear it? Is it clear? We can't see the video? On beach. Hold up. Give me a minute. Whoa. Why is it behind there? All right, hold up. 2 seconds. No. Piss me off. Better. That's not better. That's not better. All right. Window capture is here. Why the hell is it so small? Whoa. That's what she said. Why the hell is it so small? All right. Let's try this again, folks. I don't know what the hell. Oh, my Lord have mercy. Shout out to the Raiders. Try it again. You killing me, Smalls. You are killing me, Smalls. You are killing me, Smalls.
Version of myself.
We're getting a lot of work here with the ones. Just what is it like being a part of a competition like that?
Yeah, man, just being with the ones, truly just a blessing. I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and just my teammates just pushing me every day and just the coaches trusting me every day.
How has this whole experience been for you now getting through training camp? You guys are going to play in your first preseason game this week.
Yeah, I'm just super excited, man. It feels so unreal, man. My first preseason game, I'm just happy.
First preseason game. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? The first preseason game. There are a lot of kids in this building. Sorry, not kids, grown men, younger men that will be playing in their first game. We had, 11 draft picks? And I don't know how many UDFAs. So, man, you get to see a lot of youth, plus a lot of second and third year players that really didn't get a lot of looks last year. So,
for the opportunity, I'm just ready to play for Thursday for the game.
Competition is something that's preached with every position group. How do you guys, as DBs in whole, push each other to be better?
Oh man, every day, even warm-ups, every day we pushing each other. We trying to like get we trying to get each other better every day. So we just pushing each other every day.
I love this. These guys are humble, man. Everybody you hear talk, whether it's Trey Zune, whether it's Gerard McCoy, who was, on before this. I should have, I might put him on some of that as well. But all these young guys, they're not talking about there is no, I want to be great, right? I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to win this. It's all about me and team. And they're very humble, right? They're like, man, this is to him, he'll say here in a minute, but it's like, once I put the cleats on, I've done this before.
In compared you to Denzel Ward, how does it feel to get such praise from a man that's, watching you play every day?
Yeah, man, it's much praise, man. That's my coach. He see what I'm doing every day, and I feel like it's a blessing for him to say, like, compare me to a guy like that, a great guy that's been in the league for a long time. So I'm just being myself, just taking it day by day.
So if you don't know, Coach said he didn't compare him to Denzel Ward. He says he sees those traits where it's see ball, get ball, right? Where the reaction time, the man can stop on a dime and be full speed, like, in the blink of an eye. So quicker than a hiccup. But that's high praise, right? That's high praise. Go back and watch some film from Denzel Ward and see and check it out.
At what junction did you start to feel comfortable being an OTA in the camp? When did you start to feel comfortable out there for the first time?
Man,
Right?
it just in me. I feel comfortable soon as
Flies.
soon as I put the cleats on. I feel comfortable. So it just in me. So as soon as I'm out there, I'm just trying to be myself.
The biggest criticism in scouting on you was how is he going to play with the physicality in the NFL?
Yes, sir.
You have clearly sent the message that's not an issue with you. How excited are you to play somebody in a different jersey to show it even more?
Oh yeah.
So that was one of the knocks, right? That's why he fell like another player from heaven, right? Didn't Coach Kubiak said Brock Bowers is a tight end, right? A tight end from the heavens, right? I believe Malik Masses, sorry, not Malik Masses, Hezekiah Masses, Malik Benson, all these guys, man, all these guys. Great job by the scouting department. You know, we've heard a lot of content creators, whether they were Raiders or not Raiders, and media talk about this draft in a good and a bad way. And last year's draft as well, because we didn't see a lot of guys on the field. But you got guys like Malik Benson who's stepping up and is number 2 on the depth chart behind Jack Beck. And we will talk about that here in a minute. But you got to love these young men. You got to love the confidence. And that all comes down with the coaching, right? They're putting these guys in hard situations, right? He's been playing corner. Now today, for the first time, he was playing slot. And he's still out there making plays. This guy has had his hands on more balls than, more footballs than anybody out there. I mean, you hear about him every single day. A pick, a pass broken up, right? A good tackle. Today, there was reports that, he was covering his guy once he seen that they weren't throwing to his guy, that they were going somewhere else, and the ball was out. The man turned around, made a tackle for a very short gain, which could have been, could have went for a big gain if he wasn't there to make that play. So these guys are flying around, they're playing fast, and this is all a tribute to this coaching staff, man. They're allowing these guys to go out there and be free on defense, right? Not think, play fast. And this is a big difference from the last couple of years on defense. Patrick Graham wanted to be that bend, don't break defense. This is an attack, break your face type defense. This is totally
I'm trying
different.
to take their head off. Yeah, so that was a big issue. They said I can't tackle, so I'm gonna show them. So as soon as I'm out there, I'm just trying to be myself.
The biggest criticism in scouting on you was how is he going to play with the physicality in the NFL?
Yes, sir.
You have clearly sent the message that's not an issue with you. How excited are you to play somebody in a different jersey to show it even more?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to take their head off. Yeah, so that was a big issue. They said I can't tackle, so I'm gonna show them. I'm very physical. I can do everything.
Do you feel
Trying to
like
take
you're in
the
that
head
zone?
off.
I mean, every day.
Trying to take
Every
that
day
head
I
off.
write.
I
I'm tired
love
of
it.
writing about this guy because
I
it
love
seems like
it.
I'm his cheerleader, but every day you're
Love it,
making big
man.
plays. Do you
Yes, sir.
feel like you're in that zone?
Yeah, I'm in that zone. Yeah, I'm in that zone for sure. Just 100%. I'm just out there just making plays and just being myself. They calling on great calls, and I'm just out there executing.
How does it feel to have such
So this defense, the defensive coaches are putting these players in great positions. They all have the length, right? They all have the wingspan. They have the speed. Some of them need to get, probably a little bit more weight on them so they can play a little bit more physical. But if you can play physical and tackle at the weight he's at, 187 or something? I mean, reminds me of a guy that we let go to the Lions a couple years ago.
a fan base from the Golden Bears and a lot of your family and friends just be cheering you on social media?
Yeah, man, that's much love. Golden Bear, I love Cal. They treat me well, and they come along the way. So whatever I do, they right behind me.
You and Malik, 2 rookies in this class, you're going against them every day. What is it like to not only have him in your rookie class, but he's playing across from me and he's playing well?
Yes, sir. Nah.
Now, see, this is one part right here that I did not like, right? Because he said a little bit too much information that people that could watch this live or that live or whatever live, right, are going to be able to get this information. So what he says here is very, very key. And that's why they have to watch what they are saying in these pressers, right? You don't want to give away information. You don't want to give away formations. And you sure to hell don't want to give away what he's about to give away.
Great guy, great receiver. He can do everything. So it's just iron sharp iron. And so as soon as I line up against him, like we know we're going at it every day in practice.
Jalen and Trace had great things to say about you as well.
Yes,
What have you kind of been learning about them as they've kind of helped you as you try to get
They
better?
cut it out.
Yeah, man. Both of them guys, twitchy receivers, man. Them vets, they can do it all. So I'm just learning from them guys, like trying to like just get better each and every day with them guys.
A lot of rookies in the DB room. How
Hold on, wait, what?
class, but he's playing across me and he's playing well as
Yes, sir. Nah, great guy, great receiver. He can do everything. So it's just iron sharp iron. And so as soon as I line up against him, like we know we're going at it every day in practice.
Jalen and Trace had great things to say about you as well.
Yes,
What have you kind of been learning about
All right, well,
them as
I'm
they've
not
kind
gonna
of
say
helped
what they
you
said.
as you try to get better?
Obviously,
Yeah,
that
man.
was
Both of them
edited.
guys, twitchy receivers,
That's
man.
just
Them
sitting
vets,
somewhere
they can
else.
do it all. So I'm just learning from them guys, like
Wow.
trying to like just get better each and every day with them guys.
A lot of rookies in the DB room. How cool is it for you not to just be maybe like the only one, but there's a lot of you guys learning, not just being in the NFL, but the entire team together?
Yes, man. You know, you got E Stokes. He big brother to me. He tagged me along the way. He teaching me the ropes. We got D-Cam, DP, and Chid. Them like great group of guys,
D-Cam
and
been
like they
grinding.
tagging me along.
What's it been like getting to know Jamon?
All right, so smart move by the Raiders. Obviously, they went through and edited it because that's not what he had said earlier. And we'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. I don't want to lead too much into it because obviously they caught it as well. So if you watch the press interview, you know what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments. But if you didn't, yeah, I don't want to bring it up. At least not right now.
Oh yeah, so we came in together. So that's my boy. So like we got the same locker room. We right next to each other. So we talk to each other every day.
Jeremy gave a lot of praise to you and, asked questions about how he feels you're doing this training camp. What would you say his leadership and his mentorship has meant to you while being here?
Oh yeah, it meant a lot. You know, Jeremy Chin, he been in the league for a long time, so he know the ins and outs. So he get on me every day, just make sure I'm doing the right things and being a pro.
What would you say is the biggest difference from, going from college ball to now NFL pro ball?
The biggest difference, I'd say, really just the terminology. Football, it's the same thing. It's just the terminology, how the coaches speak, and then just me picking up their technique. Yeah.
Sorry, so I can ask one more? Anything, I'm sorry if I missed this, but is there anything like goals that you've set out for yourself to accomplish this year in your rookie season?
Yeah, a goal for me is just make the 53-man roster and then just be the best version of myself, be the best teammate I could be, and then just whatever I can do to contribute to help us win, that's what I'm going to do. Yes, ma'am.
All these young men are saying the same thing, man. All these young men are saying the exact same thing. Edit that, minimize that, get back to this damn live stream. I don't know why that is up. All right, so there you have the 5th round pick, Malik Masses, who is making a name for himself already. Also, the Las Vegas Raiders, a lot of beat reporters and the Raiders, which the reporters got it out a little faster than the Las Vegas Raiders, but the roster is out, baby. That's right. That's right. The roster for the game on Thursday is out. We will look that up here in a second. We'll pull that up and talk about it. Going on over here. But yeah, so let me know in the comments. Who do you believe is going to get more playing time at the quarterback position, right? It's the first preseason game. There's been multiple reports from people that I know that were at camp. Also, some people that I've talked to that were at camp that are saying the hype is not real. The hype is not real. That there is a certain first overall rookie struggling. Meanwhile, you have 6th round pick Malik Benson tearing it up. Then you have guys like Greedy Vance with another interception today, his second off Mendoza during camp. Decamarion Richardson has been lights out, hands all over the ball. I said it about 3 months ago when they drafted in April and they finished clearing up the UDFA roster that there were going to be a lot of good players that are going to learn and develop in this camp, but won't be here when the season starts. They can't afford to keep them all. But there are a lot of defensive backs, defensive linemen, the 7th round pick. Oh my goodness. That dude has a motor. I got a text 2 days ago that said, man, why isn't Brendan Cleveland, right? Why isn't he being talked about more? So maybe not out there shining, when the pads are on, but the motor, the quickness, the get off. There's a lot of players that are being talked very highly of. Why can't I type on here? Hold up. Switch this out. All of it? All right, I don't know what the hell. But yeah, so there was a play made today in practice that had not only the offense, but the defense, both sides and the bench losing their mind. Who was that quarterback? Was it Aiden O'Connell? Was it Fernando Mendoza? Or was it the veteran Kirk Cousins? And who was that ball to? We'll break it down here in a second. I'll pull up the reports. However, it was Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins threw a ball to the 6th round draft pick, Malik Benson, that a lot of people were like, is he throwing that, right? But somehow the rookie made the catch. Crazy, athletic, obviously an insane catch that had the whole entire team losing their mind, jumping up and down, right? Bum rushing the kid. So Malik Benson, man, is making waves in this Raiders offense. He slowly went from the 3s with Mendoza to the 2s with Mendoza to the 1s with Kirk Cousins. And if you look at this depth chart and this roster, which we're about to do here in a second. What's going on with this damn thing? Thank you. All right, so yeah, let's pull up this roster real quick. Oh, damn it, I don't have it up. All right, 2 seconds. All right, man, so the Raiders roster was released today. This is the preseason roster. Pronunciation guide. Okay, let's show this one. Shout out to Raiders Lead. I'm gonna show Raiders Lead. I know the Raiders put out their roster, but it looks like this will be a lot more eligible to read. So let's shout out to Raiders Lead. They've been grinding over there on X. If you don't follow them, go give them a shout. Give them a shout to the out. What the hell just happened? Ever do that again? All right, so here is the roster, not the Rastafarian, but the roster, man. Roster, Raiders recap 5. The bang. Wait, what scene do I want this on? Why don't I have a camera on this scene? Hello. I don't know. I bumped that with my bad ass. All right, let's pull this up. Damn, it's not on that one either. Son of a beach. Son of a beach. All right, let's just do this. No. Stop playing with me, Timbuktu. All right, this should work. Somewhere like this. Boom! Except for, I'd much rather like to be on top. That's what I'm talking about. Much better. Not much. Woo-wee! Now we cooking with grease. All right. This is the roster. Y'all can see without me moving myself. Let's shrink myself just a little bit. All right, we are set up. So this is the roster. Jalen Naylor, wide receiver. Dante Thornton is ahead of Cedric Jackson. This is absolutely insane to me. I know they drafted the kid. I know we brought Cedric Jackson in. I know the bloodline and all that. I know we brought him in free agency. But this man has made more plays in one day than I've heard of Dante Thornton making the whole entire offseason. And now the man hasn't even been out there. I don't know if it's an injury, don't know what's going on, but they have him listed as number 2. I'm not arguing with the coaches. It is what it is. I just don't get it. I really don't see how Cedric Jackson is not ahead of Dante Thornton, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Cedric Jackson, Chase Roberts is 4th. I don't know who would be wide receiver 1, who would be in the slot. But Jack Besh, wide receiver, starting. Malik Bensett right behind him. He was 3rd on the depth chart, 4th on the depth chart in a lot of depth charts until now. The man has been making waves, catching everything. They go to him an awful lot. Apparently so. Yeah, they're putting a lot of pressure on this young man, and he continues to answer, making, spectacular catches, got the bench jumping off their feet, and leads me to my next question. Do you feel Jack Besh job is in jeopardy? I mean, you bring in guys like Derek Young. I was playing Madden 2027 last night. Oh, and by the way, Max Crosby had his first interception for a touchdown, 100 yards in the end zone. Yeah, my son was pissed. He was so mad. But I thought I'd bring that up. I should have recorded it. I do have the thingy I need to play live, so we will be playing some live games. As soon as my little free edition runs out, I will get it. So pull up. We'll do some games. Maybe we'll do some competitive games. But damn, I tore it up just like a preseason game. I started Kirk Cousins for the first quarter. I started AOC for the second quarter. And I started Mendoza the second half of the game. Mendoza was way better. It was night and day. The throws were crisper. The speed is better. Ashton Genty is a dog. But anyways, back to what I was talking about. Yeah, go check out Madden 27. All kinds of crazy stuff. It's going to take me 6 years to even figure out all the contraptions you can do on defense. Maybe I'll do a breakdown when I figure it out, but I'm sure there's already a lot of people have already had it for a minute. But Malik Bensett moving up. Devin Tompkins. There's been a lot of talk about Devin Tompkins making some decent plays out there, some touchdowns. EJ Williams as well. Then you have Trey Tucker, Derek Young, Philip Dorsett, and Brandon Johnson. So those are the guys behind Trey Tucker. But that doesn't mean that a guy like Cedric Jackson, our Devin Tompkins, our EJ Williams, right, can move up and take one of these spots. You're looking at 6 wide receivers. Jalen Naylor, it seems, I don't know how Dante makes this team if he's not ready for this preseason game, or at least out there, doing something, because he's missed a lot of this camp, right? A guy that definitely needs the development. So you got Jalen Naylor, Dante Thornton, Jack Mesh, Malik Benson, Trey Tucker, and Derek Young as the 6 wide receivers, according to this. Now, this is just for the preseason game. This is not the roster to start the season, because half of these guys will not be on the roster, right? You can only keep 53 guys. Is it 54 with the international player? I don't know. They're working on trying to get Tokyo Toe or Special K or whatever the young man's name is to be able to be eligible for the international player list. I don't know what that entails. If anybody in the chat knows, let me know. I appreciate it. Faded Raiders, 17 months. Damn, Raiders. Man, I appreciate you, my brother. Rocking with your boy for that long. Business decision was good. What's my favorite story coming out of camp? Malik Benson had 4 touchdowns 1 hour ago, and Washington 1 hour ago. What was this? After camp? After camp, we'll get into that as well. I don't know why I can't see the damn chat on my screen. I can see AOC and Mendoza playing an even number of snaps. I don't even know if that, from the reports I'm getting, the way Mendoza is looking, I don't know if they want to put him out there and show where he is at for a first-round pick, because that might cause some controversy, right? There might be some people flying off the reins once they figure out. Damn, Faded, I appreciate you. Shout out for the $20 slap for Rizzle. Damn. Appreciate you. Let's go. 3 days until the Raiders Cardinals preseason game, baby. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? But yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know. There's been multiple reports, right? Mendoza had no interceptions but 1 until the pads came on. He finally threw one when the pads come on. When the pads came on, and then it was like 2 the next day, 2 the next day, 2 the next day. From what I'm hearing, I mean, slow starts, starting out 1 for 4 or 1 for 5 or whatever the number was. I've heard different numbers. Had a slow start, but did good in the 2-minute drills. But I keep hearing this, right? In the 2-minute drills, you don't give the defense a time to rest. You don't give the defense time to change guys and sub guys in and out, right? You have those guys on the ropes, and it's a lot easier, just my opinion, from when I played, it's a lot easier in a 2-minute drill, because the offense, you can get the defense on their heels, right? You can get those guys stuck in air, and you can do the offenses are going to be just as tired, but not if they're chasing, right? Not if you're chasing guys. So you can get the defense, you can't sub guys in and out. You can get those big guys on the front line, a little bit more tired, in my opinion. I'm not saying that it's easier in 2-minute drills, right? But I'm saying it, without calling a timeout, it's hard to sub. Most of the time you're in a hurry up offense, right? No huddle, get to the line, get to the play, run the play, run back up to the line, right? It's hurry up for a reason, 2-minute drills. So that's all I've heard of people looking good. That's all I've heard is 2-minute drills and red zone drills. But what about the rest of the drills, right? What about the rest of the drills? What about just driving down the field and making plays? And they're keeping a lot under wraps, so we'll see about that. But right, Faded with the $20 slapper. We said it at the same time. Nice. So yeah, man. But lots of reports that Fernando Mendoza is not looking great, right? We seen what Carson Beck looked like in the game as the starter. Pretty good numbers, nothing to brag about. But being the first start for a rookie, says a lot for a young man drafted in the 3rd round. But we have a guy that was drafted 1st overall. And a lot of people believe that drafting a guy 1st overall, he should be ready to play, right? If you look around the entire world, if you bring in a guy to be the CEO of your building, you give him a year to learn the building and how it works to be the CEO. If you bring in a president of the United States or the vice president of the United States, does he get a year to see how good the country is running or how bad the country is running or where they need to save money or where they need to, delegate their time to, right? No. When you hire an intern, then yes, right? You get a year to, or whatever, a couple months to learn the job. But no job, you don't come out of college and get hired to a job and they're like, okay, well, we're going to hire you to this job and we're going to pay you to follow us around and learn for a year. It doesn't work like that in the real world. Are they coddling this young man, right? We talked about Max Crosby being out of practice. Oh, let's put Mendoza in with the ones. I don't know if it was all the ones or some of the ones, right? Because obviously they're subbing guys in and out. So I don't know. To me, it seems like, they're trying to hide something. And Kubiak said it best himself. In the preseason, you'll see what I see. You're going to see the same things we see. We're a little bit closer, right? Because they're on the field. But if you're watching on TV, you're going to see the same thing the coaches see. And you can't hide it at that point. So how much do they play this young man? I'm very, very anxious to see if it's, 2 quarters, a quarter. Is he going to be the starter coming out like they did, with Carson Beck? How much is it going to be Carson Beck versus Fernando Mendoza? A lot of questions going into the preseason. How ready is this young man? I mean, if you're starting every single day, flow, and you're staying after practice, I love that about him. There's many pictures of him being the only one on the field while everybody else is in, taking their showers, doing their meeting, after the meetings or whatever. Mendoza's back out on the field. So the kid's a grinder. And there's nothing wrong with, okay, maybe, but there's nothing wrong with not being ready if the Raiders knew that when they drafted him, right? Maybe that's why the whole story has been Kirk Cousins, Fernando sits for a year. They know what they need to do and where he lacks in the issues that they need him to get better in. Oh, I don't know. We'll see. I would love to see Fernando Mendoza, Aiden O'Connell, the whole entire game in Houston, because I will be there. We'll see what they do with the first game. I don't know. We'll see what they do with the first game, man. But it's going to be crazy. Shout out to Faded. Madden 27? Yes, Madden 27. Damn, Rebel, you already checked out on Mendoza. Give him a chance to see it. I'm not checking out. This is content. This is a discussion. I want to know how y'all feel. I'm asking questions. This is not my opinion. Well, some of it's my opinion, but like the coddling. I feel like you need to loosen up the reins a little bit, right? Loosen up the leash. Take the seatbelt off of the young man. And let's see what he can do, right? Let's see where he's at. Because again, if he's not ready, that's fine. That's fine. If they knew that, right? Because they keep saying, oh, he's right on schedule. He's right on schedule. And I've asked this question multiple times on multiple lives. What schedule is he right on, right? Where is he? Did they know that, okay, he's going to have some struggles. We're going to have to wing him along. Kirk Cousins is going to take all the first team reps because he needs all the reps he can get with this team, right? Where is he at? And where was their process? That's one thing we don't know and won't know until they put him out there and see where he is. And then another thing is Kirk Cousins, right? You see with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers, and I've asked this question before, where is Aaron Rodgers career stat-wise, right? Numbers, wins and losses, quarterback rating, quarterback percentage, completion percentage, where does he stack up to Aaron Rodgers? Because a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who is what, 3-4 years older, I do believe, 4 years older, can take the whole entire camp off, not knowing the offense 2 years ago, and come in 2 weeks before the season starts and play a whole entire season and look pretty decent, right? And look pretty decent. But Kirk Cousins needs to come in and take all the reps with the ones. I don't know. That leaves questions in my mind. It leaves questions in my mind about this whole quarterback situation, right? As a whole. Is Mendoza ready? Can Kurt be that guy? Why are they giving Kurt so many reps? Where is this balance at? Where are we stand right now? Purple in the building with the Raiders. What's good, my brother? What's good? Well, I remember Darnold was picked number 3 overall by the Jets. They expected a plug and play. Any development and damn near ruined his career. Without any development. I agree. You can also look at that situation over there, right? You can also look at that situation over there. Oh wait, which Darnold? Sam Darnold? Oh, Sam Darnold with the Jets? Yeah. I was thinking of a different Darnold. A different Sam. Sam Bradford is what I was thinking about, right? Because, drafted a Sam Bradford. You had, who was on the bench? Somebody else. But I do believe they drafted a rookie. Who was that rookie? I'm going to have to look that up. I don't know what I'm talking about. But they drafted a rookie. Something happened in Minnesota, I do believe, to Jacoby Brissett, and they traded for Sam Bradford. He and right, and the rookie ended up getting the job over the second-year player that they had over there. You never know. But yeah, man, there's been a lot of crazy talks about Fernando Mendoza not looking good, and again, it's preseason. Some people have higher expectations just because the number 1, right? He was the number 1 pick. Those expectations are higher. A lot of people wanted to trade back, get more capital. And, I don't know. But let me know how y'all feel in the comments, man. Do you feel like he should be at least ready to play in the preseason game without making a lot of mistakes, right? Because we've heard over and over again, at least I've heard for the last 4 or 5 days, it seems like every day there's 2 bot snaps. Whether it's Tyler Linderbaum when he was running with the ones, right? Whether it was Tyler Linderbaum running with the ones, snapped one over Mendoza's head. This is the second time, I do believe, with Linderbaum. And then Meredith being that number 2 center running with the 2s. They've had problems with the exchange multiple times, not just once, but multiple times of practice from what I'm hearing. So a lot of things going on over there. You're trying to make Jordan Meredith a center when you have a guy like JPJ that could, be taking those snaps with the 2s and moving over to right guard and taking those snaps as well. Or you have a guy like Carter Runyon that at least, not Carter Runyon. Sorry, I was looking at the name. But, you have another guy that can play center in Will Putnam. And they're trying to force, Meredith to be that center. I don't know what it is. I guess when Chip Kelly said he's the next Jason Kelce at center, everybody gravitated to that and thought, hey, okay, Jordan Meredith is the next Jason Kelce. But damn it, I would like to see him at guard, man. He's physical at guard. He's powerful at guard. And still making mistakes over there. I haven't heard of any other exchange problems through any other quarterbacks, right? I haven't heard of any fumbles at the snap with Kirk Cousins or Aiden O'Connell or Jacob Clark for that matter. it's just been Mendoza. So is he coming out too fast? Right? Is he leaving before the ball's there? Is it bad snaps? Who is this on? Because those are all things that should already be worked out. I feel like we're way too close to football to keep hearing about botched snaps. I mean, that a botched snap lost us the game to Kansas City. And whether you want to blame it on JPJ, whether you want to blame it on Dylan Parham or Aiden O'Connell, or the man who takes all the blame should have is Antonio Pierce for not just kicking a damn field goal and trying to get a couple more yards and not trusting in Daniel Carlson, who was struggling at the time. But we can't have those plays when you're about to beat a team that, you know, could give you some momentum and change the season a little bit, and then you fail because you didn't kick a damn field goal when you were already in field goal range, just trying to get more yards and run the clock, which I get it, but, you know, was my point the other day on Friday night. Just bad coaching and bad decision making. Did Aiden O'Connell have a chance? Yes. With a bunch of defensive coaches. Now there's an offensive coach. Let's see what he can do. Also, on this roster, let's just go over all of it real fast. You got Colton Miller, Charles Grant behind him, not at the right tackle like many have assumed and expected. You know, he was going to be pushing for that right tackle spot, but still the backup. I do believe that is the future, like we talked about. And, you know, Colton Miller got one more year on his contract, right? This year and next year. If Charles Grant's not ready by then, it might be a problem. But I've also heard the little birdie in my ear say, you know, Charles Grant has struggled a little bit as well at the left with the twos and at right when they put him there as well. So Isaiah Jada is behind him, and then Kamar Missouri. And it don't seem like either one of these guys, I have not heard anything about them, right? I've not heard anything about pancake block, about a good block, sticking up for your quarterback, nothing. Their names have not been mentioned whatsoever. So we'll have to wait to preseason to see if they even get out there and get to play. If anybody's been out to camp, let me know. Have you seen anything from Isaiah Jada? Have you seen anything from Kamar Missouri? Then at left guard, this comes as a little surprise to me as well, because we've constantly heard JPJ and Caleb Rogers are battling for the right guard position. Some days it's Caleb Rogers over there. Some days it's JPJ over there. Well, the Raiders themselves, this is not anybody, ESPN, NFL Network, right? Our lads, this is Raiders depth chart. Spencer Burford, left guard. His backup is Caleb Rogers. Another thing, I don't know. Somebody make it make sense. Make it make sense. How many snaps has he actually taken with the left side? All I've heard is him taking snaps with the right side, whether it's the twos or the ones. So, you know, maybe I'm just not getting all the reports, right? But the little birdie in my ear said the same thing. I don't see him a lot on the left side. But for some reason, he's the backup left guard. And then Justin Pickett, who, you know, 6'7", 300-something pounds, a guy that came in as a left tackle, but they have now moved him to the left guard position as well as a backup behind Caleb Rogers. We talked about this before. I think that's just too big of a body to be at the guard position, even if your quarterback is Mendoza at 6'5". That's just a big body. At center, again, and I could keep saying this over and over again, but I guess it don't really matter. But we have Tyler Lindenbaum, Jordan Meredith, Will Putnam. At right guard is Jackson Powers Johnson. And then behind him is Antonio Mafi. Now, I might be a little bit confused and I might be old. But from what I remember, wasn't Antonio Mafi playing mainly the left guard spot last year? Don't remember him playing a lot. I know he played a little bit of right guard, but I really felt like it was Antonio Mafi and Charles Grant towards the end of the season at the left guard position. So let me know how y'all feel about that. But you have another huge man at 6'8", Nicholas Henning, who also played tackle, also was a former tight end 2 years ago, got drafted to the CFL. Started playing tackle. They have him as the backup right guard behind Antonio Mafi. So maybe this roster was just slapped together because they need a roster. You have to have a roster going into the game, right? You have to know who you're playing. You also have to have an injury report. You also have to have who's being kept out, who's not being kept out, which I don't think that matters in the preseason because everybody, right? Is it all 92 guys? Somebody let me know in the comments. Is it all 92 guys that you can have out there in camp, right? Unless they're injured. Do not know this. I should probably know this. So yeah, watch out for Nicholas Henning. Like I said, I believe this man makes the practice squad. But Antonio Mafi at right guard and Caleb Rogers, who has been battling with JPJ. These are the reports we get every single day, right? This is why I'm calling BS, because you get reports every day. Then you have people that are fans or content creators that are out there watching, and they're seeing different. Now, maybe they don't have the roster in front of them with the numbers, and maybe they're getting them confused. 76 and 56. I mean, I can see you getting them confused, but let me know how y'all feel about Antonio Mafi being behind Jackson Powers Johnson. Right? I thought there was a huge battle at the right guard spot. I thought it was Spencer Burford, Caleb Rogers, JPJ, Jordan Meredith. We've heard a lot about these guys battling. But now as the roster is starting to settle, the dust is starting to fly. A lot of guys in different positions. Right tackle is DJ Glaze. You would think it would be Dalton Wagner, right? Been on the team 3 years on the practice squad, plays every year in the preseason, then goes back to the practice squad. But no, it is Trey Zune at the right tackle backup position with Dalton Wagner being on the third spot. I would be very surprised if Dalton Wagner makes his team again. He's going to have to do something in the preseason. As much as I love my Arkansas boy, I just don't see how they keep paying a guy $200, whatever they paid him. But I know the first year it was $250,000 as a UDFA. It's not a lot of money, right? But I know that money went up because he's been on the team longer. So, man, I don't know how many reps you're going to get or how you can show out, right? Running with Aiden O'Connell or Jacob Clark, who I am very anxious to see what Jacob Clark looks like in the preseason. We've seen Cam Miller last year in the preseason come out, have some touchdown plays to Cedric Jackson, I think to Philip Dorsett as well, right? So I'm very curious to see how the rookie that nobody's talking about except me. I try to bring his name up every live because I try to bring up at least everybody's name once. But yeah, the young man, I'm very anxious to see what he's got out there. Tight end, we have Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, Ian Thomas. Seems like he's making this team. If you've seen my roster, I didn't have him making the team if they kept 3. I had Carter Runyon, but it seems like Carter Runyon hasn't been out there the last, 3 days? Haven't got an injury report. Don't know if some of these guys are just not out there because they're not planning on them being out there. I don't know. If y'all know, let me know. If y'all got any injury reports on any of these guys that I'm talking about, let me know. Are you following MC Raiders too? Yeah, I follow MC Raiders. I pretty much follow a lot. Most of the people, probably 98% of the people I follow on everything is Raider stuff. So you got Ian Thomas. Then they have Albert OK. Albert OK making some noise. A big, gigantic, huge dude to play tight end, right? Gives you another body in the blocking. Gives you another body when they're running that 13 personnel, which I heard from a little birdie. Hate when I say I can't say shit. Just watch out for 13 personnel. Carter Runyon and Chris Myrick, who some things have already been said about him, right? Coming in late when they've already done installs. Coach talked about it. Luke Steckel, my guy, finally got an interview, right? I would be surprised if this man does not have a job somewhere. Every time he does an interview, right, there's no hesitation. He doesn't have to think when he speaks. Everything just comes, straight off the top of the dome and from the heart. And he's not one of those guys that's always saying and well, it's fluent, it's to the point. And man, I've been a big Luke Steckel fan ever since he came here with McDaniels. And he's been here the whole time. He's made it through 4 head coaches now, 3 head coaches. So I love it when he finally gets to talk. And this tight end room should be blessed, and thankful to have a guy like that. He's been around the NFL for a long time, and kind of like Robbie Leonard, been around some great coaches, been an assistant interim head coach for guys, for the Patriots head coach. I don't know why the hell I'm drawing a blank on his name. All right, Jack Best, Malik Benson, we talked about that. Thomas, EJ Williams, Trey Tucker, we got to that. Quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins. Yes, it is Fernando Mendoza as the number 2. Aiden O'Connell, 3rd quarterback on the roster. I just don't see how they can justify that from the notes that I have in camp, right? It was just 2 days ago. Wait, what's today? Monday? Yeah, 2 days ago. Saturday or Friday, whichever day. I went live Friday, right? Friday night. Yeah, so Saturday. Aiden O'Connell, 3 touchdowns in the red zone, 2 touchdowns out of the red zone, threw a touchdown to every not known player on the roster. I mean, literally, all these guys that nobody's talking about. Devin Tompkins, I do believe, had one. Who was the other ones? But yeah, running with the 2s. Aiden O'Connell, 5 touchdowns on the day, 3 in the red zone, 2 in whatever drives they were doing, whether it was 2-minute drives, but finishing strong, bro, finishing strong constantly. And then you hear reports about, interceptions. But you got a guy over there that's had 2, I believe, the whole offseason. So we'll see. And then Jacob Clark, running back, you have Ashton Genty, Mike Williams, man, my Woo Pig Suey Hog has been doing his thing out there. I asked a couple people if they would keep an eye when they was out there on my guy number 30, Mike Washington, right? Look out. Look out. The man is making plays. He's running people over. He gave Jermod McCoy a welcome to the NFL moment, I do believe, on Saturday. Had to come up, step up, make the tackle. Just got bulldozed. He said, yes, we were both drafted in the 4th round. But yeah, I'm here to keep my spot, and you're in my way. So Mike Washington using that 6'2", almost 230-pound frame and that, 4.3 speed, making plays. Dylan Labe making plays. Roman Himby, still out there, I believe, making plays. We talked about it a million times. And then they went and got Dare Ogunbole, who, man, watching some highlights of this young man in Texas, dude's a baller. The dude's a baller. So you got 5 running backs on the roster. More than likely, they're keeping 3, even if one of those is a practice squad guy. So we'll talk about it in a minute. Let's get through this roster. We got Connor Hayward, 34. Man, I was bulldozing some people on Madden 2027 last night with Connor Hayward. That boy sprung Ashton Genty for not 1, not 2, but 3 big runs over 40 yards. So boy was putting in work with Ashton Genty. And I didn't even use Mike Washington. I feel bad that I played the whole game. I didn't even have to use Mike Washington. But, Ashton Genty was healthy. He was doing his thing out there. So I'm gonna play tonight when my son gets home again. Let me know in the comments if y'all want to see it. Maybe we'll run it through the computer and check out, make sure this thing works for the season, because we're gonna play all these games before they happen throughout the season. So make sure you're subscribed for that as well. Patrick Gerd, number 45. I've seen a couple clips and had somebody say, man, Patrick Gerd looks like he's physical in the backfield, right? Clearing holes, can catch out of the backfield, tight end / fullback. And he's a big dude. So another situation where, damn, you got a guy you paid a lot of money to in free agency, and then you got a young guy whose ceiling may be higher, potential may be higher. Which direction do you go, right? Max Crosby. And then I find this very interesting is Malcolm Kuntz behind Max Crosby. Now, we talked about it a couple times this offseason, right? From looking at ESPN's roster, looking at our lads roster, whatever other roster, CBS's roster we were looking at, I don't know. Yeah, Malcolm Kuntz behind Max Crosby. Now, there's been a couple of Malcolm Kuntz sightings. He's had some sacks. Mendoza had a big play today that would have been a touchdown, but after the ball was caught for the touchdown, they said, no. It was a sack, coverage sack. Malcolm Kuntz got him. I think he had 2 on Saturday and another one on Friday. So Malcolm Kuntz has been out there getting to the quarterback, doing his thing. When Max Crosby was out, I heard Malcolm Kuntz came in, was flying around, looking very nice. And then you got Jafari Harvey. I, again, haven't heard nothing of. I don't know what this young man is doing. If he just feels like, since he's behind Max Crosby and Malcolm Kuntz, there's no way that the dude's getting on the field. I don't know, but he needs to get it together, man. I had big hopes for Jafari Harvey. I really thought he would push for a spot this year. But again, I didn't know they're going out and spending $80 million on the roster on the defense side. Patrick Johnson, 93, seen him make a couple plays out there as well. Tonka Hemingway, bro. We'll talk about that later. Jonah Lalu is behind Tonka Hemingway. Now, I find this very fascinating as well, right? Very intrigued to find out what is going on here. But you have Tonka Hemingway, Jonah Laulu, JJ Pegues, and Gary Smith III. Now, I had a dream and an envision in my head the other night that Tonka Hemingway, Jonah Laulu, and JJ Pegues were all going to show out and be those guys on the defensive line, moving some of the old men out of the way, right? Moving some of the old men out of the way, like Adam Butler. But we'll see. We'll see. Brandon Cleveland and then Trevin Maye is, dropping. He was third up there behind Max Crosby and them, but Jafari Harvey's up there, and now they put him on the total opposite side. Or they got him as D tackle. So not playing that 4-5 tech anymore. They got him at D tackle. We'll see what Trevin May does. Looking forward to see what he does in the preseason as well. They got a whole roster full of players I'm going to be looking at, taking notes. Probably on my phone. I don't know what Houston is, right? I don't know if they let me bring in a notebook or what all you can bring in there, but yeah, Jonah Laulu, Pegues, and Gary Smith. Find that very, very, very weird. And then you have, so anyways, Tonka Hemingway listed as the starter going in, just so y'all, in case y'all missed that. Adam Butler listed as a starter with Thomas Booker, the 4th behind him. Now, I find this kind of weird as well. I thought Thomas Booker played very well last year when it came to stopping the run. Not great at getting to the quarterback. Maybe it's just because they need somebody at that 0 tech position or the one. I don't know, but Thomas Booker not starting or not listed as a starter, at least in a 3-4 defense, I find a little weird. I mean, they traded, a third round pick, right? And Jacorian Bennett for him. We've seen some interviews where he's talked about being a leader. it's going to be hard to be a leader if you're not out there all 3 downs. So, I mean, yes, you can lead from the bench, but if you're out there, showing out, it's easier for guys to follow suit. Benito Jones, Brendan Cleveland, and Trevor May, we talked about that. Those are the D tackles. Then at edge, you have Kwity Paye, Keyron Crawford, Brennan Jackson, and Cyan Salone, who I do believe had a sack today. Had a pressure sack. I've heard has very, very, very strong, fast, quick, and physical hands. Good footwork. They have him listed 4th on the depth chart right now behind Brennan Jackson. I don't see that happening going into the season. I will be very surprised if he doesn't find his way on a roster spot. And yes, people say, man, you're crazy, right? A UDFA, Frank Weber, what's good? I see you, Brian. I see you. Raider Paul, what to do? Are you ready for Houston, baby? Man, I've been ready. I've been ready. It's been a long time since I've been to an NFL football game. And I cannot wait. Absolutely cannot wait. All right, so then we have and I find this interesting as well, right? They have defensive end, Max Crosby, Malcolm Kuntz, Jafari Harvey, and Patrick Johnson. Defensive tackle, and then they have edge. I don't know what this means. I mean, kind of, but Kwity Paye, Keyron to the Crawford, Brennan Jackson, and Cyan Sloan. We talked about at the beginning of the show, the Raiders have some tough decisions to make. And I just have that belief that when the pads come on in this preseason game, the next 3 preseason games, that some of these guys are going to be being talked about. And when you start getting talked about, you can't hide them on the practice squad. You have to make a decision. Do you keep the young buck with the upside and the growth and the development? Or do you go with the experience, depending on, if it's experience at 25, 26, it's not as hard as a decision. But if that guy's 30, 31, 32, 38, 39, right? Kind of makes a difference. So the Kobe Dean, the linebacker, Tommy Eichenberg behind him, Stegun Alobi, who has been not heard of, right? He's been a ghost out there. Haven't heard anything about him. Haven't heard him make plays. We've seen one interview with him. Buddy Johnson, he's 3rd behind Tommy Eichenberg and Kobe Dean. And then Buddy Johnson behind him. Heard a couple of decent things from some people out there about Buddy Johnson. Looks like, he's fast, physical, flies around. Special teams mainly, probably, if he makes the roster. Then you got Quay Walker, who I had an interception for a touchdown, almost a touchdown with Quay Walker yesterday as well. Quay Walker got him one. Max for the 100-yard one. Who else had one? Jeremy Chin had one. And Eric Stokes. So, yeah, 4 picks yesterday in the Madden series. This is Madden, not in the game. I'm talking about 2027. Quay Walker, Cody Lindenberg, who makes plays on the game as well. I hope he makes plays on the field in real life like they have him in a game, because dude is quick. He's a thumper. Cameron McGroin and Xavier Sori as 4th. As the linebackers, Eric Stokes, DeCamarion Richardson, ahead of Jermod McCoy. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments below. Please, I need to know. How do y'all feel about that? We've heard multiple reports about Gerard McCoy, his health, right? The way that he's been able to stack days, right? They had a plan for him. He's exceeded that plan. He's been out there with no problem, no swelling, right? No irritation or anything like that after practice. So he's been ahead of schedule and ahead of track. But my guy, DeCamarion Richardson, bro, DCam coming up and starting to make plays, right? He's starting to make plays. He's starting to show out and put it all together. Now, I said this last year. He should have been out there a lot more, not just on special teams. He should have been out there on the damn field. When he was out there, it was okay, ups and downs. But again, corner's one of them tough spots. You're on an island, right? If you're not out there constantly to try to get better and stack plays, and you're only out there here and there, it's kind of hard to get in the rhythm. So shout out to DeCamarion Richardson. And, been a long time. If you look if you look back at the Raiders drafts, right, you can go back to 3 years ago, and then there's like one player from each draft. Some drafts, there's none. Some of those drafts, we had 3 first-round picks, and there's no players left over on this roster from those drafts. So it's nice to see guys like DeCamarion Richardson, Tommy Eichenberg, if they make this team, right, start to, put it together a little bit. Man, I hope the right tackle, DJ the Mule Glaze, takes that next step too, because we keep hearing about him just getting cooked out there, no matter who it is. Kuntz has got him, Crosby's got him. I mean, everybody's getting him. So, but Jamad McCoy is third behind Eric Stokes. Now, on all the rosters before this roster came out, right, all through camp, DeCamarion Richardson was playing in the slot. He was playing on the other side, and he wasn't anywhere around Eric Stokes, number 1 guy, right? So that says a lot from DeCamarion Richardson. He was the number 2 corner, like second or third as the number 2 corner, and his play has moved him up to be that guy that, if anything, or to not anything, but to come in and play, obviously, during the preseason. Once Stokes goes out, it looks like DCam is the next man up. I'd be surprised if it's Jamad McCoy, just because, they want to bring him along slowly. But yeah, shout out to DeCamarion Richardson, man. Then Darian Porter, corner 1. Hezekiah Massis has moved up behind him. He was 4th string on the other side, right? On a lot of these reports, it's 4th string on the other side. So shout out to Hezekiah Massis doing his thing out there. Chagazi, another guy. Teron Johnson, Greedy Vance, man, Greedy Vance with the 2nd and the 3s has been all over the field. Pass deflection after pass deflection. Again, he's had his hands on, more balls than an OF girl. Footballs, that is. Caleb Oford. I haven't heard much from Caleb Oford or from Devin Perkins. I felt very deeply that when the pads came on, that Devin Perkins was going to be that guy to start making plays, right? Come up and make plays in the run. Hasn't been the case. Hasn't been the case for my guy. I haven't even heard him getting any reps in the slot at all, or getting any reps, right? Haven't heard his name. And sometimes when you don't hear a guy's name, that's a good thing. But you want to at least hear, sometimes hear his name in some highlights. Hasn't happened for Caleb Oford or for Devin Perkins, unfortunately. Isaiah Palomau still running with the 1s at free safety. We'll see how long that lasts. Trayden Stukes is dead on his heels. A lot of reports had Trayden Stukes being that number 1 guy, Isaiah Palomau moving up to the strong safety position, and, being that guy that Dalton Johnson is sitting at right now. And we'll get to that in a minute. So Trayden Stukes, Tristan McCollum in the free safety spot. That means Trayden Stukes is at least ahead of him. And, Trayden's been running mainly with the 2s. Been back and forth the last 2 days in practice, Saturday and today, with the 1s and 2s. But they're taking it slow, right? They have him playing slot. They have him playing safety. They have him playing strong safety. They have him playing all over right now. And they're just trying to see where he fits in. But you have to realize that some of these guys, I hear a lot of talk about, damn, another 2nd round pick that's a bust. Dude hasn't even taken a snap. He hasn't even been out there one time. I mean, I know JPJ has not been on the field a whole lot. I know Jack Best has not been on the field a whole lot. We'll see. what happens with Trayton Stukes. I feel like he will be on the field a lot more than those two guys if healthy. But you got to realize the guys in front of him, because they have him playing a lot of slot. Greedy Vance has been playing his butt off, and he's a second-year guy, right? He knows football a little bit more. A UDFA last year, a guy that doesn't want to give up that spot. And then you got Teron Johnson, that when Teron Johnson is healthy, you know, he's one of those top guys in the league at that spot. So it's going to be hard for Trayton Stukes to take that slot position or free safety or, you know, or strong safety. He's not going to be the strong safety. That's Jeremy Chan. Backup is Dalton Johnson. And Devin Lafayette, man, another my guy that I was super stoked when they got him. Talked about him a lot during, you know, before the draft. Haven't heard anything from him. Haven't heard any plays, any pass deflects. Just a name that's not mentioned. So obviously he's not out there showing up and showing out. Kickers, Matt Gay, been pretty consistent. Special K has missed some kicks. You expect that, right? It's the NFL. Also, when you hear about these kickers missing kicks, remember the Raiders' goalposts are shorter, right? They have a shorter goalpost. They brought them in a little bit, make it a little bit tighter kicking window. So some of these kicks that are hitting the goalpost would make it by a foot or two. You know, in a real game, we got to take that into consideration. I just thought I'd say that for my special teams guys out there. And AJ Cole, man, I can't wait to see what a year AJ Cole is going to have this season, bro. I can't wait to see what AJ Cole's going to do. He had some kicks last year that pinned guys at the 2-yard line, the 1-yard line in the Broncos game. The man was kicking rockets to the moon, right? That gives your team a chance to get down there. That also forces teams to get out of the way of the ball or, you know, fair catch it. So special teams hasn't helped us much in the last couple of years. Matter of fact, special teams has hurt us a lot more than it's helped us in the last couple of years. So that being a change is going to be big for us, right? When you can flop field position, right? If you have to punt and, you know, you're punting from the 45-yard line and you can pin them down at their 1 or their 2-yard line, that's a huge win for your defense. That means more than likely, if they do their job and everybody does their 111, you're more than likely going to get the ball right back with a punt, because if you have somebody at the 1-yard line, they should not get a damn first down, right? They shouldn't on a good defense, but the NFL, we know what happens. As a queer man, I think a lot of people are sleeping on us this season. Nice. Shout out to you. I don't know what being gay has to do with it, but guess you had to throw that out there. Go Hawks. It's just trying to break things up a little. Seahawks. Yes, I'm ready for next week, Raider Paul. I think I got to that. And I see that's all I can see. Oh, there's a lot more. Oh, damn. There's a lot more. Holy shit. Brian, you get around. Don't I see you on Grant's show? No, Grant is. I've been there a few times. Keeping my eye on the 49ers behind enemy lines. But I'm Raider curious because Raider curious as fuck. I'm sorry that put on Raider curious because Kubiak's running the show. I like it. Raider curious. That's funny shit. What is going on with my green screen? I don't know what happened. It took a shit on me too. Weird. Well, I kind of like Jesse and Coach too. I tolerate Krug's. He refuses to listen to the Barty. Yes, I'm still going to Houston. And damn it, I ended up making it to where I could be there for the open practice. And I knew I should have just got the tickets and had them on standby. And I thought I did. I swore I got an email saying that my tickets were good to go. Apparently not. So I won't make it to the open practice. I'll be in town, but I won't get to go in. I consider Jesse coach interim homers. Jesse's pretty honest about his criticism with the organization. Nice. What else we got? I like coach. He's definitely more entertaining than Lombardi. That's sort of frequent anymore. Yeah, I can see that PG and E getting a little more progressive with the lights on during the fiery season. The tickets were sold out for the joint practice. I know they were sold out. It sucks. Good thing I got my tickets for the game though. I will be on ESPN. Make sure you find me. I will be wearing a Waldo suit. Red and what are the colors? Red and black stripe. I'll be dressed as Waldo. So it'll be where is Rebel Waldo? I'm just playing. I won't. But if you could find me in the crowd, that'd be great. Somebody screenshot it. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Don't. What do you mean? No, I won't. You just watch it. Don't come in here breaking up my dreams. I already have a suit on standby, and I'm gonna be where's Waldo? No, in silver and black. Silver and black. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. All right, why am I still on this one? Why am I still on this thing? That's all I got for you on that one. Oh, that's why I'm still on that scene. Boom. All right, man. So what the hell did that just happen? So how are y'all feeling about the preseason? What are your intentions? What are you looking for? Let me know in the chat, right? 14 people in the building. Let me know. What are you looking to see? Are you looking to see the noodle arm of Kirk Cousins that everybody seems to fail to talk about? I've not heard of Kirk Cousins throwing the ball over 20 yards to anybody. Okay, 25 yards one time to Brock Bowers. But other than that, can the Raiders get away with running the ball and dinking and dunking like the 2002 Oakland Raiders? Can we beat that time of Rich Gannon team with Father Time in the building, Kirk Cousins? Let me know in the chat. Brock is a beast. Yeah, but Brock can't do it all. We are going to the Super Bowl? Calm yourself, Yago. Calm yourself. Let's not make expectations crazy, right? Let's pump the brakes on the expectations. I mean, if we go to the Super Bowl, ain't nobody gonna be more excited than me. I'm gonna tell you right now. Nobody is gonna be more excited than me. I might have a heart attack. You might see me jumping up and down, acting a complete, absolute fool. I might even start drinking again because shit. You never know. But yeah, bro, if it happens, it's great. Go get Vita 100. All right, so let's talk about that. A lot of talks about Vita Vea, right? Should we go get him? Should we spend that money? And my answer is slowly becoming no. I was on board to start out, right? If it's a 4th round pick and a player, we have a lot of players that have been showing out in camp. Not all of them are going to be able to make this roster. Maybe you throw one of those guys in the mix, but then you look at the $22 million we have left. You'd have to pay him guaranteed money this year and next year. It's a lot of money for a 31-year-old man. And then you have Tonka freaking Hemingway, who has been balling out. The man is getting sacks. He's getting tipped balls. He's forcing fumbles. This man is going ballistic, right? He put on a little bit of weight, all muscle. I gotta watch some preseason games first. Now, I'm with you, Nate. I'm with you. If in the preseason we are not getting pressure on the quarterback, and this team is looking like they cannot get pressure at all whatsoever, right? Or it's few and far between, then absolutely you got to do something and make a move. But right now, in the preseason and the joint practice, the 4 games we got, I want to see JJ Pegues. I want to see Brendan Cleveland. I want to see Tonka Hemingway. I want to see Jafari Harvey. I want to see some of these guys, what they can do, because man, we talked about it all off season, right? It only takes one win and guys start buying in more. Guys start playing better, right? If you can stack together 2 wins this season somewhere, or at the beginning of the season, if you can come out and beat Miami and upset, the Chargers, bro, that changes everything. Guys are going to start playing different. So when you're talking about that much money, $17 million contract, $22 million buyout, that's a lot. But don't get me wrong. If we're just a defensive tackle away, then yeah, you go get him. But I feel like there's going to be a couple more issues with this team, right? Brock Bowers seems to be the only guy that is consistent. Yes, Jalen Naylor's made some touchdowns. Malik Benson is a rookie, right? How do you play consistently against the ones? Do you move up to that number 2 or number 3 receiver and you're getting more reps? How do you, perform? How do you keep a level head, right? If you're Malik Benson coming in as a 6th round pick, getting to be that guy early, which he very well could be the 2nd or 3rd receiver on this roster, right? He seems to be the most consistent besides Brock Bowers. So a lot of questions with the receiving core, a lot of questions still with the offensive line. Do we even know who is what, right? Again, we talked about it. JPJ, Caleb Rogers. This is all we've heard for the last 2 months, or the last month, is Caleb Rogers is pushing JPJ for that spot. But now when the roster comes out for the game, he's going to be on the left side. So I don't know. A lot of questions going in, and I don't think we can. I just don't feel like one preseason game against the Cardinals, who, by the way, looked very damn good. I mean, that team was clicking, right? Yes, they lost, but that team was clicking, and the Raiders got their work cut out for them, because if the quarterbacks continue to play like they're playing, if the offensive line, mainly the right side, continues to, give up the coverage sacks that they're giving up and letting us the defense rain havoc on the quarterback, it'll be a long, long game against the Cardinals. My guy Mike LaFleur over there. We all know how I felt about Mike LaFleur. It's Cousins. Aiden will take us to the Super Bowl because Cousins is gonna fail. Mendoza isn't ready. I don't know if Aiden's ready for that either, right? As a quarterback, you know how I feel about Aiden O'Connell. I believe the kid should get playtime, but he's not consistent, right? He's had a couple games stacked together in a row, mainly his rookie year. After that, I don't think he's played 2 games in a row since his rookie year. I could be wrong. But you still got to be able to, you got to be more consistent, man. You got to be more consistent. 2 interceptions the other day, that's not going to help his stock, right? And we'll see about in this system. There's no more excuses for Aiden O'Connell. No more excuses, none. I don't want to hear about the coaching staff. You don't have a running game. The offensive line sucks, right? They're not putting you in the right position. There's no more excuses. Preseason's coming up in 3 days. And it's time to go out there and show, are you getting better? Are you looking better? Are you taking that next step? Because we all know since his rookie year, it's declined. But is the decline because of him? Or is the decline just been because of the positions he's put in? So all the excuses are out the window. You have a damn good head coach. You have a running game behind you. You have a solid offensive line with, an $80 million center and a veteran left tackle and a veteran left guard. Youth on the right side, right? You have Brock Bowers. I mean, will you get to throw to Brock Bowers? Probably not. More than likely, they'll put Aiden O'Connell out there with Dalton Wagner, with Antonio Mafi, with Will Putnam, and they're gonna be like, "But you got your opportunity. Here's your opportunity." Yeah, he got opportunities. He's got some, but no more excuses. Time to step up and play. Right? You can't tell me dudes getting an opportunity when they take all the good people out and say, "Okay, go in there and see what you can do." With Dalton Wagner and Antonio Mafi and Will Putnam. Why the kid got hurt? No protection. So, man, time to put up or shut up. Dude says he wants to be a starter, came out with his chest out, right? I'm that guy. I want to be the guy. I don't want to be a backup. Well, man, now the talk is done. The excuses are done. All that shit of the 6, 7 offensive coordinators you had and the 4 head coaches, it's all in the past. It's all in the past. You can't change the past. Now is a new day, and now it's time to see what all these quarterbacks do with it, right? Can Kirk Cousins be that guy he once was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago? Can Aiden O'Connell be the guy that I expect him and most people don't expect him to be, in this preseason? Can he go out there and show that he can run this offense, that he can put guys in the right position, and he can do his job? And if he can't, then damn, I was wrong, and I'll be the first one to come on here and say I was wrong. But yeah, Super Bowl is crazy. I mean, I love your enthusiasm, Candy, and I think most of that's probably because of me, but you gotta show consistency, right? If you want to win this starting job, I said this to somebody the other day. If you watch practice, and everybody thinks I'm an Aiden O'Connell stan, but whatever, it is what it is. If you watch practice, you see everybody out there full stretching, right? Whether it's a leg stretch, whether it's shit. I seen Aiden O'Connell on one knee doing this. You bird watching? What are you doing? Everybody else is stretching, and you're still in the same position you got in when you first got down. You're not going through the stretches. If you are, you're not trying to get yourself more flexible so you can be more nimble in the pocket and be less stiff, right? You're not doing the things that you need to do, in my opinion. So we'll see. We'll see if Alex Guerrero's helping any of these young dudes. And if Aiden could step up and show that, look, I can run an offense, put me out there with the threes, I'm still going to make plays, I'm still going to move this team down. Or is he going to be a guy that's going to come in, with no protection and end up getting hurt or making stupid plays? But we will see in 3 days. And I can't wait because I'm so tired of arguing about that dude. It's getting ridiculous. What do you think? I do think AOC is a sweet spot between the grizzled noodle arm and the rook ready for prime time. Yeah, that noodle arm has been showing up, but they don't talk about it a lot, right? They talk about, oh, Kirk Cousins was benched, and then he came in and was cerebral, right? He was destroying the offense. Come on, man, he's destroying. Not anybody, but come on, when you're a 15-year vet and you're throwing 5 or 10-yard passes. It's not a knock on Kirk Cousins. I gotta talk shit on somebody, man. And Kurt's the guy. Kurt's the guy today. He's the guy. And he has a lot of stream, but not much scheme. Yeah, too many dabs. Too many dabs, though. Too many dabs. Hey Frank, I'm gonna be smiling when everybody is wrong. In her defense, though, I talked about this before, right? There was a quarterback drafted in the first round who everybody thought, oh, this guy's a bust. I do believe it was the Patriots. Drafted him, didn't stick with him, went to another team that didn't stick. And then there was a certain Hispanic coach by the name of Tom Flores that said, damn, I need a backup quarterback. Let's bring in this guy and, see if we could do something with him. They bring in that guy. They also went and paid a whole bunch of money in free agency. Sounds like the Raiders, right? Like they did the last 2 years. Gardner Minshew, Jimmy Garoppolo, Smith, right? But anyways, the Raiders, they go out, they bring in a free agent. That free agent plays 5 games, breaks his leg, out for the season. Who comes in? Not their backup. They go with the third string guy, former first round pick. All he does is take them to a wild card game, win 2 playoff games, take him to a Super Bowl, and put a ring on his finger. Now, that player was the great Jim Plunkett. Again, 2 years later, he loses the starting job. They draft a quarterback in front of him. He has problems. Who comes in? Jim Plunkett. Not mobile, right? A guy that can slang the rock, not consistent. But when it was crunch time and it mattered, he's got 2 rings. Now, the rest of the career might not be great. A lot of people say he should be in the Hall of Fame because he has 2 rings. But the Hall of Fame is supposed to be for great players. Now, there's been certain players that have been getting in before other players lately that, you know, I'm up and down with whether they deserve it or not. Just because you win 2 Super Bowls doesn't mean you're a Hall of Fame player, right? If you look at Jim Plunkett and the way he did it, came in week 5, went on a run, right? Played the next year. I do play the next year, but then, you know, got benched because the play wasn't great. It was the time. It was the team around him. It was the defense that could keep him in the game. There's no I in team, and I'm so glad Clint Kubiak keeps pointing that out. Get the I out of the building. Get the me out of the building. We are we and team, right? So there is, you know, it's been done. Raiders have 2 Super Bowls that way. Have 2 Super Bowls by a quarterback not being able to finish the year and the backup coming in and taking us to the promised land. Who's to say it can't happen again? I won't. I will not. I will not. So you never know, man. He hasn't truly gotten a chance. He had Gino in a position. Madden might still be benching coach 2008 when Oakland acquired Plunkett. Was it 78? I thought it was 80 when they acquired him. I could be wrong. Maybe it was Madden that got him. I thought it was Flores when he took over in LA, though. I have to look it up. I could be off a year or 2. But shout out to my guy. Appreciate you. Frank Weber in the building. I'm going to go with Frank Weber because he's usually spot on. What? I mean, I don't know. We argued about it. Go check it out. Fight or Flight Friday night, right? We talked about it. Severe made some good points. I made some decent points, right? But everybody has different expectations of getting a chance. I mean, it's hard to say you got a chance on a horribly ran offense with, you know, okay offensive line and then a horrible offensive line with coaches that, I mean, right? Was Luke Getsy really an offensive coordinator? You know, it's much easier for a quarterback to go out and play with confidence when you're young and you have somebody that believes in you. Not just somebody, but your teammates believe in you, right? When your number 1 player brings you on the show after they bring in a free agent that they drafted, right? That says a lot about how they feel about you being in the building. Just me and maybe the Aiden O'Connell too, right? So when you have a team that believes in you, like, you know, Jackson Dart, for instance, right? They drafted Jackson Dart. They moved up to go get Jackson Dart in the first round. They let their veteran and Russell Wilson go out there and play, but all along they knew that this kid was going to play because they had faith in him. They believed in him. That's why they drafted him, right? And guys go out and play better when you have people that believe in you and have faith in you. So I don't know. It's hard to go out, feel like you won in camp, and then have a guy be that starter, and then you only get put in because that starter went down when the guy was playing bad the whole time. And they're like, nope, let's just stick with them. Maybe it'll get better. You know, it's a young team. It's a new coach. It's a new offense. It's a new this. Every excuse you can probably throw at them. And they waited and waited and waited until Gardner got hurt, right? That doesn't show that you believe in the young man that was in there. It doesn't show that you believe in a guy that had you 2 games away from making a playoff his rookie year. So just different takes on that. And, you know, I don't know, but there's no excuses this year. No excuses, right? It's all on him. If he plays well, great. He's doing good. He's developing. But I feel like as a quarterback, you got to have that Kirk Cousins, you know, type of swag. You got to be able to get in people's face, yell and scream at people, bitch at people when they're not making plays, when you throw a perfect ball and it's right in their hands and, you know, they just walk back to the huddle and you're like, okay, like, come on, man. Superstar quarterbacks are leaders that are quarterbacks. They're not afraid to yell at those guys, right? They're not afraid to get on people's ass when you drop a ball that's perfectly thrown. You're like, come on, man, help me out over here. So a lot of things need to happen, and we'll find out very, very soon. 4 games to play. Who is going to be that guy? Does Mendoza going on as the third string quarterback, emergency quarterback? If he's better, is he better than Aiden O'Connell? At this moment, we know he's more athletic. We know he's more flexible and more nimble. But how much stronger really is the arm? How much faster does the ball come out, if any, right? I know one dude's been in the league going on his 4th year, seen pretty much every defense you could throw at him. You got a rookie that seems to be struggling against our defense that has a new head coach. First time defensive head coach. To me, that leaves questions. Whether I believe in the kid or not, whether I like the kid or not, it leaves questions to me. And those questions will be answered very, very soon. What was I saying is I don't know much about football, but I can see potential in the kid. He hasn't had a chance. I mean, you can argue he hasn't had a chance, but you can argue that he has, right? The games that he's been in, you've had a chance, right? But he's never been that quarterback that's going to go out and be able to change plays and to check into plays, right? You're running what the offensive coordinator calls every single time. It doesn't work like that for any quarterback, right? You're running the same snap count. You're going on 1 every single time, right? The teams are just teeing off because they're like, man, they go on 1 every time, right? There's no going on 2. It's not like John Gruden where he was, you know, up to the line saying Einstein, 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 Romeo Blue 15. Why, you know, names that don't mean shit, right? You gotta change it up. You gotta mix it up. You gotta have a different cadence to get people off. And when you're not given that opportunity as a quarterback, it's hard to do your job. I guarantee you, every quarterback wants to be able to run the offense, not just run the offense through an earpiece. They want to be able to come up to the line of scrimmage and go, damn, coach, it's not going to work. They know exactly what's coming. And when you know the play is not going to work because the defense already knows the play, it's kind of hard to execute as a quarterback, right? Or a running back or even a receiver. You're like, damn, can we change the play? Can we check into a run? Can we audible to a hot route, right? Let's get the ball out quick and fast because they're sending 6 or 7 and we don't have the guys in the block for this. We're about to get murdered, but we don't have the option to check out of the play or to change the play. And to me, I think that, you know, the quarterbacks that are given that leadway and that leniency to go out and, you know, have 3 or 4 plays that, man, let's not do this play, but I do know a play in the playbook that is perfect for this defensive scheme, right? That's when you see if guys are better or not, in my opinion. We'll find out in preseason, God and family, what he do in preseason, how good he can be because he's going to get plenty of burn. Arnie Garza in the building. Yeah, he should get plenty of burn. He should definitely get plenty of burn. But my problem with that is, G fam, is who are you getting the burn with, right? Even if you're going against the 3rd, 4th team defense, and you have guys like Carter Runyon and Antonio Mafi or, you know, Isaiah Jada, if you're playing with guys that don't know the scheme and they're on the 3rd string practice squad for a reason, that doesn't help you, right? Aiden O'Connell is not that guy that's going to be able to roll out of the pocket and and make plays off script. I mean, he has almost all of his highlights are making plays off a script, right? But you can't judge somebody playing with the threes compared to somebody playing with the ones, right? You can't tell me throwing to what is this roster? You can't tell me when you're throwing to a guy like Albert OK or Chris Merrick or Carter Runyon, right? Are you throwing guys like Brandon Johnson or EJ Williams who are UDFAs? It's hard to shine. I'm just saying it's hard to shine. So have a full fair evaluation of a player. I just feel like you need to be playing with the same players. Right? Go out there with the same players, the exact same players. Give me the same starting offensive line, the same wide receivers. Let me see if I can do better than the person in front of me. Rebel, I like that Raider hat you're wearing. Appreciate you, Arnie Garza. You do your best with what you have on the field. Facts. We'll see if he makes good throws or if his defense is picking him apart. Yeah, you can see all that. You can see all that. But also, you gotta, are those throws being rushed? Right? Do you have the time you need for the play to develop? Right? If the play is called for the third option, right? Your third progression, and you're going to your, to your H or to your Z receiver, do you have the time? Because that's been the problem with our offense for a long time is do you have the time to throw the ball? AOC will have the starts over the other two guys in preseason. Mark my words on that. Okay, Frank. Okay. That's kind of where I'm at. I mean, that's kind of where I feel. I just don't feel like Fernando Mendoza has showed enough in practice that they're ready to put him in front of national television. Just my take, right? Just my take. And, there's been some guys that are content creators, Raider content creators, and I don't know if they've, done any lives or done any reports, but we'll see what they say, right? What they say about being in camp, how they feel about it, what they've seen from Mendoza. I know Chris for Raiders, I do believe was out there one of the practices. He's a big Mendoza guy, so I'd love to hear his take. And maybe he already put it out because I think they did a video yesterday. I didn't watch. I'll have to go and check that out. But I know Cheeto Linus, I do believe, was out there. I heard LV Raider 10, right? So go check these guys out because I'm very interested to see what they say and what their takes on the quarterback situation, right? And the little birdie in my ear is saying, bro, Aiden O'Connell kills it fucking daily, on the daily, throwing dimes. Started out throwing dimes. What got him demoted to the third team? Was it the fans? Was it the people chirping for Fernando Mendoza? Or was it inconsistent play? And that's what I want to see. But Frank Weber says AOC will have the starts over the other two, the stats over the other two guys. We'll see. We'll see. I hope so. I hope so, man. I hope he doesn't. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know where Aiden O'Connell's head is. And that's another thing as a quarterback, right? Where is your head at? Knowing that, come on, man, I've been out here. I've played well. Most of the wins we've had in the last 2 years are because of me, right? Most of the wins we've had in the last 3 years are because of me. I mean, where's his head at? We'll see. We'll see. So, I mean, if he plays with the ones a little bit, okay. But if you're out there with the third string, God, you got to be great. You got to be great and hope guys, you can get guys to rally around and play for you. But that third string offensive line, I mean, let's look at it. Let me pull this up. Move me over. Help me, I'm shrinking. Oh, I'm back. All right. Let's look at it. So the third string offensive line will consist of Justin Pickett, Will Putnam, Nicholas Henning, Dalton Wagner, Isaiah Jada. You telling me your third string quarterback has a chance with those guys? Now, nothing against those guys, but one, Isaiah Jada, UDFA. Justin Pickett, UDFA. Will Putnam, UDFA. Nicholas Henning, you guessed it, UDFA. Dalton Wagner, I don't have to say it. I don't have to say it. This is my complaint. This is my complaint. This is what I've been saying the whole time. If you want to know who is your best quarterback, who is your best guard, who is your best wide receiver, you put them against the same defense. Right? Now, I know the ones for the Cardinals on defense are not going to be out there. I don't even think a lot of their ones even played in the first week. So this will be their second game, right? They have game ahead of us. They've already played. They're, a little bit further in their installs. They're a little bit further in everything they're doing. They've played a physical game. They kind of know where a lot of players stand on their team. The Raiders do not, right? But if you're telling me Isaiah Jada, Justin Pickett, Will Putnam, Nicholas Henning, and Dalton Wagner, with possibly like Ian Thomas and Albert OK, right, as your tight end, and then Cedric Jackson, well, you got that going for you. I guess you better throw the ball to Cedric Jackson, because if it's Dante Thornton out there, Aiden O'Connell's already seen the last 2 days what throwing the Dante Thornton get you put back to the third string. Then you have wide receiver Devin Tompkins, Devin Tompkins, right? He had a touchdown to him yesterday or Saturday or today. I don't remember. And then your third string wide receiver is Philip Dorsett. So Cedric Jackson, Devin Thompson, Philip Dorsett. I just don't know how that's a fair shake. Now, again, you're going against their 2s and their 3s. But what if their 2s and 3s are better than our 1s, right, on defense? We don't know. I know they played pretty well, like I said, last week, and I don't think a lot of their starters out there. So the defense obviously gave up 33 points and lost, so they're not that strong. But we'll see, man. We'll see what we can do, what this offense can do against a team that, Carolina Panthers. That was a good game, bro. A lot of people thought that it was going to go under 36. What they have it under 36 was the numbers. Shit, doubled that. Right? So, yeah, man, I just don't know. And then, if you're Fernando Mendoza, right? I mean, dude, it pays to be the number 2 quarterback right now. If you're Fernando Mendoza, you're going in there. You got Charles Grant. You got Caleb Rogers. You got Jordan Meredith, who should be at guard. Antonio Mafi. Trey Zune, a third at right tackle, right? We'll see what he does. You got Michael Mayer, Ian Thomas, Carter Runyon. Those tight ends are probably going to all mix it out. Probably more than likely, Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers will be out when the 1s go out. I don't know how much they'll play into the season, but we'll see. But then you're throwing the guys like Malik Benson instead of Devin Tompkins. You're throwing Drake Young instead of Philip Dorsett. You got Mike Washington instead of Dylan Labe or Roman Himby. I mean, just a little bit of a difference to me. I don't know. The excuses will be done with very, very, very soon. No more excuses, no more facts, no more thoughts, no more predictions. Preseason stats don't mean much except for fans. My breakout players versus cards are Washington, Benson, Sorry, I'm looking at this on my phone because I don't know why this shit's not stretching on here. My breakout players are first the cards are Washington, Benson on offense, Masses, Tonka Hemingway on defense. Preseason stats don't mean much except for fans. Preseason stats don't mean much, but the preseason does. The preseason does. The preseason tells you a lot about what you have on your roster and what you have in the building, right? If you have guys in the third or fourth quarter that are out there consistently making plays and showing out, those guys are going to move up a notch for the next preseason game, right? If you have guys that are the reason you win games, or guys that are forcing turnovers, those guys are going to stand out, right? So preseason to me is huge. A lot of people say preseason doesn't matter. To me, it does. It tells you what your depth is, right? How many players deep are you at that position, right? Whether it's safety, do you have 3 safeties that you feel can come in if something happens to one, right? Or 2, are you safe with your third guy coming in knowing that he knows what he's supposed to do, knows his 111, knows the system, knows where he's supposed to be, and the fall off is not so far, right? So preseason is where you find that out. Preseason is also where you should find out, what you have on your offensive line. If I'm a coach, I'm starting who I believe is a starting offensive line, right? But then I'm going to leave some of them starters out there, and I'm going to bring in guys that are very, very close to see what they have. And then I'm going to leave some of them starters out there when I bring in my backup to see what they have. Because all of our starters need rep. It's a new system. It's a new offensive line coach, right? Everybody needs to see what they have, and you have to be able to see what guys gel together. Some guys block better together. Some guys communicate better, right? Some guys are faster. Some guys can, have been around long enough where they don't have to communicate or yell or talk. They know what the other one's thinking, right? If this guy's playing on the 3 tech or the 4, right? Are they running a stunt? Man, I know who I got. I know that I can trust my guy is going to take the right guy, and I can get my guy, right? So all that makes a difference when it comes to the offensive line. But it's hard for all these guys when you're third string and you're playing with guys that are on the bubble, and you're like, man, I really feel like I'm a guy that should be on the second or third string, but those guys in front of me, right? I just can't get up there. Makes it hard. Makes it very, very hard. AOC had the worst offensive line with the Raiders last 3 years. They Kappa, Stone, Stone Cold, Forsythe, plus Brendan Carroll as the offensive line coach. I agree last year he had a bad offensive line, but the year before, when he came into the game when Gardner Minshew got hurt, still had, I do believe, Colton Miller. Now, maybe Colton Miller got hurt before that game, because I have to look it up. But I believe he still had most of the starting lineup against the Rams, and he came in and got hurt. So, I don't know. And then towards later of the season, when he got to play, that offensive line, it went from 26th in the NFL down to like 20th. The 15th, some had us at 13th, right? From December on, just like the defense. So, Mendoza, second string, AOC, third string. We'll see. We'll see. We have the best wide receivers in the NFL, the great Jack. I don't know about that, but who would I switch? Beck with Jackson on the depth. Oh, I would switch Beck with Jackson on the depth chart. Let me pull that up again. You would what? Hold on. I don't know why that's all static. What's up with my light? So you would take Jack Besh, which to me looking like the slot receiver, because Jalen Naylor and Tucker been playing a lot outside. So he's the middle wide receiver on the depth chart. Maybe the slot, maybe the outside guy. I don't know. I like Cedric Jackson a lot. For some reason, he's still behind Dante Thornton, and that scares me. But to move him up and take in front of Jack Bess, I would completely do that. But Malik Benson, man, he's going to be hard to keep at number 2. I would not be surprised by the end of this preseason game if Jack Bess snaps are predetermined snaps for the season start to go down, especially if Cedric Jackson balls out. I hate to say that, but man, special teams might be looking good. Special teams might be looking good. Second round pick has not been nice to us, and I'm not calling Jack Bess a bust or saying that he can't play, because I've heard of him making some noise too, right? I had some people keep an eye on Jack Bess. You know, they're just not getting the targets. He's just not getting the targets. So when he is getting the targets, the man makes the catches. What do we got? Stone Forsythe was a stone. Stone Forsythe was. Who was your watch list players for the Cards? My watch list players for the Cards is definitely Aiden O'Connell. Man, you have to come out and you have to have a solid game, right? It can't be sloppy. You can't be 14 for 28 or 16 for 32, however many snaps you get, right? I don't know. It's got to look good. You can't turn the ball over. You're going to have to move the ball down the field. You're going to throw touchdowns. I want to see what Mike Washington does. More than likely, he's going to get most of the reps, I would think, in the preseason, you know, unless they feel like they already know what they have with them and they don't need to see. But Mike Washington, I want to see a lot. Roman Hemby and Dylan Labe, I want to see that battle. You know, how many carries do they give Dylan Labe? Is it just mainly passing the ball out of the backfield? Is Roman Hemby pushing to, you know, try to take a spot on this roster? And then the defensive line, right? Is Adam Butler, how long is he going to play? And when he does go out, is Jonah Laulu, is JJ Pegues, right? Is Brandon Cleveland, Jafari Harvey, this whole defensive line. I want to see if they can get pressure on the quarterback, because if we can't get pressure on the quarterback, if we can't disrupt the quarterback and move him off of his spot, right? If you can't make him throw off script and make plays off of script, that's how turnovers happen. That's how turnovers have been happening in a preseason, right? They might not be telling you this, but there has constantly been pressure on a lot of these quarterbacks. They're guys are getting beat on this line up and down. So they're getting in, you know, they're disrupting plays, they're getting hands up, they're tipping balls. And then the corners, on the other hand, are sticking like glue to these guys, man. They you know, the coverage has been tight no matter who is out there, whether it's Porter, whether it's DCAM, whether it's Greedy Vance, right? These guys have been out there sticking like glue. So if they're making it rough for the quarterbacks, and I do believe that's why Kirk Cousins was so frustrated. I don't feel like it was all Max Crosby hitting him. I feel like a lot of his frustration has to do with, he knows Mendoza is clipping at his heels, and Aiden O'Connell is probably clipping at those heels as well. So, you know, he feels the pressure. Kirk said it himself. When they asked about him being named the starter, he said himself, that's just day-to-day for the preseason. That's not for the season, in his opinion. And he believes it's day to day. And he said he's going to have to defend, you know, Mendoza off as long as he can. But is it really Mendoza he's trying to defend off? Because I don't know how good he's looking out there. The worst 2 tackles in the NFL, both for the Raiders. Stone Forsythe, DJ Glaze, the Mule, can't get any worse. Don't say that, Arnie Garza, because it could always be worse. It could always be worse. No matter how bad you think it is, it could always get worse. Dylan Labe can only win breakdance battles, and his game is trash. I mean, we'll have to see. We'll have to see, right? Heard some fumbles have been happening. Some guys, my guy Mike Washington. So my guy Mike Washington had a huge play. And I do believe it was the Gerard McCoy. I could be wrong, but had a huge play where he ran somebody over. broke away for a touchdown. Was almost there. And I want to say Darian Porter. I want to say it was Darian Porter, but correct me if I'm wrong if anybody knows in the chat. I'm gonna get off here in a second. I don't have time to look it up. But I want to say it was Darian Porter, didn't give up on the play, chased him down from behind, and knocked the ball out before he got to the goal line. Can't have that. Can't have that, Mr. Washington. You can't have that. Had that happen 2 times in Arkansas last year. 2 times you cost us very, very big yardage in games that we were in. It's this close to the goal line twice. Those fumbles ended up being touchdowns for the other team, and we ended up 2-9. So just saying, gotta clean those up, man. You gotta protect that ball no matter how fast you think you are. There is always somebody faster, and Mike Washington is fast as hell. So for him to have steps, not just 1 or 2 steps, I mean steps. Whoever the player was, like I said, I want to say it was Darian Porter, but I could be wrong. But never gave up on the play, came from the other side of the field to chase him down and knock the ball out. So this defense is looking nasty, bro. They're playing around, they're flying. They're disrupting practice constantly. It's not just Max Crosby. It's been everybody. So shout out to everybody in the building. We will break down tomorrow. Question, who is your biggest riser and faller in camp? The biggest riser has to be Malik Benson. Nobody thought Malik Benson would be in the spot that he's in right now to go out and be that guy. I believe he gets a lot of reps in the preseason, right? Hezekiah Massis alluded to it, but I do believe they edited that because I know I heard what I heard and I should have recorded it then. However, probably don't need to be said if the Raiders felt like they needed to edit it off their thing, but they believe in Malik Benson, right? They believe in this young kid, and the preseason is going to show an awful lot. I'm very, very, very excited and impressed, right? I knew this dude was fast. I had high hopes for him coming in, but I didn't want to get my hopes up too much because, again, it's camp, right? But he looks better when the pads came on than when they were in booty shorts, right? Hezekiah Massis is another one. Has looked better when the pads come on. He's shown he can be physical. That was his not coming out of college. That's why he fell to us from the heavens at 5. And, you know, Tonka Hemingway, talked about him all year. Every single game, I was like, Tonka Hemingway has to start. We have to see what we have in Tonka Hemingway. When are we going to see what we have in Tonka Hemingway? When is Tonka damn Hemingway going to be out there? Scratch, scratch, scratch. So I'm super impressed with Tonka and what he's done in the offseason. Won an award for, you know, for lifting the most weights or gaining the most muscle mass during the offseason. And he's upped his game a lot. So I definitely want to see, you know, can this man be a disruption constantly on a consistent basis? Can he be a 3-down guy? And then who else do I want to see? Just all the rookies, man. All the rookies, the UDFAs, the rookies, all the guys we brought in, right? I know what we have in the guys in the building that have been in the building. I know what those guys are. I've known what those guys are. I've tried to tell a lot of people what we have in some of these guys. And, you know, they're all starting to show it. Sometimes it takes guys 3 or 4 years. Kamari Richardson last year probably, you know, should be an asterisk like a lot of these guys. Because when coaches just shove you to the back or put you on special teams and you're out there doing your, you know, everything you can on the field, it's a bad look. Guys get in their head. So shout out to all these guys. JJ Pegues is another one that I really want to see, you know, what he does when he gets some consistent reps, right? And then Chase Roberts. I want to see what Chase Roberts looks like. So all these guys, man, all these guys. But my biggest riser is definitely Malik Benson, Tonka Hemingway, and Malik Massis. Those have been the biggest risers. Those are the names you hear every single day. Ballers to me still have to be Dante Thornton. You know, the guy's got injured. He's not out there again. Somehow he's still the number 2 guy. I don't understand that. It should be Cedric. So Ballers for me, that's one of them. And I think that's about it. I don't really see anybody losing their spots. Jack Best, I'm gonna have to go with Jack Best, right? When the pads come on, I thought his name would be called on a lot more. I thought you would hear more about his physicality, you know, the length that he has, the strength that he has, the contested catches. Just hasn't got the target. So hopefully the man could get open like he was for me last night in Madden. Pairing it up with Jack Best. But yeah, if not, I mean, he's got to start sliding into one of those fallers for sure. All right, man. So shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody that rock with your guy. I know it's been 2 days, but we will be back. The season is very, very close. Trying to take a break so I can get everything together for the season. Trying to do, you know, all the stuff we're trying to do. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get the links for the Substack as well as Discord. So we're gonna be doing some things for the games over there. We will be doing a test run on Thursday to see how that works, how it works out. So make sure y'all pull up for that and protect your mind, yourself, your family, and your friends, and always hold a commitment to excellence to yourself and the people you run with. And just win, baby. Let me know in the comments after this video how you felt about this video. If you like the video, if you like the content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, tickle the noti so you'll be notified when we drop new content like this. As always, my people, I am out. Peace.